Well, actually, just one particular incident I wanted to share. Essentially, I've lived in California all of my life, and I'm a retired school administrator, so I've had comprehensive health care coverage, gold-plated, for all of my career. I'm on Medicare now. Most recently, my gynecologist, who actually is one of Fresno's finest gynecologists, recommended surgery for me. It was relatively minor, but it was a surgical procedure that I needed. I agreed to it right away, but my insurance, I have Freedom Blue, which is supplemental, Medicare supplement. My insurer denied the surgery. And so my doctor, being the wonderful doctor that she is, contacted their medical officer, who's a physician herself, and talked to her personally about my needs, and it was still denied, which is really the part I wanted to share with you, because my own physician examined me. No one from Freedom Blue, Medicare, Blue Cross, anyone else examined me and knew my medical needs. My doctor and I agreed that I needed the surgery, but my medical provider refused it, even after talking with my physician. So I went through the appeal process, and being a school administrator, I'm very good at managing communication and paperwork and all of those things. So I went all the way to the CEO of WellPoint.
Wow.
I made a complaint, went through their appeal process. I contacted her and their watchdog agency. I contacted Radonovich, Congressman Radonovich. I spent a lot of time, a lot of phone calls. And by the way, Blue Cross then decided to reverse their decision, gave me the surgery. It's done. I'm healthy. I'm happy. It was no problem at all. So, but the concern I have is that not all women are like me, who are comfortable with navigating that kind of system. So once I had, I believe the key was Congressman Radonovich. I think probably those contacts with their corporate offices and going through the appeal process changed things. And by the way, Congressman Radonovich's office even contacted my doctor to make sure I got the surgery, and contacted her after to see if everything had gone well. And of course it did. But they came between my doctor and me.
So that's kind of when we start to see this administrative role come in and start to take more precedence over what the physicians are recommending for your care.
Absolutely. My physician was very disappointed, and she said this happens from time to time, and most often, almost 100% of her patients don't take the action I do. They just accept it and go on.
So Jackie, how long did you spend navigating this process and going through?
It took me probably 3 weeks of phone calling and letter writing and just being aggressive. And once I got to the top of WellPoint, they were very responsive, and they even had a person that was their community liaison, and she was wonderful. We had a very good relationship, and I sent her emails thanking her for the fine job that she did. But it took that. And what I'm suggesting is that, yes, they'll tell you they have an appeal process, but when they rely on the kind of skills I have to do that appeal, they're zeroing out an awful lot of people who would not take that action.
So do you have, would you have any suggestions or recommendations for maybe women that maybe don't have the skills to navigate themselves through the channels that you did? What could maybe the insurance companies or some other how can women advocate for their care, basically?
What I think is right now, what's happening, of course, I'm a supporter of universal health care. I'd like to see single payer, but I don't think that's going to happen. But I certainly think that what insurance companies need to do is be honest and legitimate about what they're saying. They're asserting right now that they don't come between you and your doctor. And I'm a perfect example where they did. They absolutely did that. They denied my coverage, and they even denied it after they talked to my doctor, and I even believed the doctor who made the denial was a man, and I was wrong. It was a woman. How could a woman say that? No.
Yeah. and you were able to fight and advocate for your health and keep yourself healthy.
Right. So I just expect the insurance company to do what they're saying they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
They should never come between a doctor and a patient.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any last thoughts of what you would like to share with us about healthcare reform in the San Joaquin Valley?
I just love to see universal health care. Having been an administrator and a school teacher, I've seen poverty firsthand. I worked in a community that was so poverty-stricken. We had dentists and doctors even coming out and just doing free care to help our children. They couldn't even go to the dentist. Their parents had no way to send them. So I truly want to see everyone covered, as many people as possible. And I think it's time for those who have theirs to do a little more sharing and take good care of people who don't have everything. So that's what I'd hope for.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Jackie.
Nice interview.
Thank you.
Jackie, can you